has been our pleasure for 75 years.
From the executive producers of Frasier, Out of Practice, CBS Mondays this fall.
I'm John Roberts. President Bush yanks the top FEMA man out of the hurricane zone and puts an admiral in charge of disaster relief. Full coverage tonight of the devastation on the Gulf Coast.
I'm Byron Pitts in New Orleans, where the death toll may not be as high as first feared. Much of New Orleans sits in a toxic soup. The environmental cleanup will be massive. I'm Mark Strassman with that story.
I'm Mark Phillips in Holland, where they know about floods and what it costs to stop them.
Worried about your heating bills this winter? I'm Anthony Mason. Wait till you see what Katrina could cost you.
This is the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
And Bob is off tonight after more than a week of trying to manage a natural disaster and a political debacle. President Bush made a major personnel change today. Under growing pressure, he ordered the head of FEMA, Michael Brown, to leave the Gulf Coast disaster zone and return to Washington. The president put a military man in charge, Vice Admiral Thad Allen of the Coast Guard. Bob Orr begins our coverage tonight of disaster relief and damage control.
Even before hurricane winds began battering the Gulf Coast, there were questions about the federal response and the nation's top emergency managers. On Saturday morning, 2 days before Katrina struck, analysts inside FEMA headquarters sounded an alarm. Leo Bosner is a FEMA union leader.
We put a situation report out at 5:30 a.m. in big black type saying a catastrophic hurricane is headed straight dead center for New Orleans. And Brown and Chertoff and these people did nothing.
You warned the management.
Of course we warned the
management. An impending disaster.
Of course. Everybody knew it was an impending disaster, except them, I guess.
By the time the storm had passed, parts of Mississippi and Louisiana were in ruins, and New Orleans was drowning in desperation. Still, cries for federal help went largely unanswered for 4 days, forcing the president to the region.
Brownie, you're doing a heck of a job.
But Brownie, FEMA Administrator Mike Brown, was clearly the target for blame.
People want to lash out at me, lash out at FEMA. I say that's fine. Just lash out, because my job is to continue to save lives. My job is to continue to try to rescue people, and I'm going to do that.
Did you screw this up?
No.
By today, the answer seemed to be yes. Even as New Orleans struggled with a toxic quagmire, new questions about Brown's qualifications emerged. His White House resume claims Brown was an assistant city manager in Edmond, Oklahoma, with emergency services oversight. Edmond officials say Brown was more like an intern, with no supervisory authority. Hours after that story first appeared on Time magazine's website, Brown was relieved of his hurricane command.
Is this the first step in Mr. Brown's resignation? Can you answer that, Mr. Brown?
Here are the ground rules. I'm going to answer the questions. I've explained what we're doing. I thought I was about as clear as I possibly could be in English.
Homeland Security boss Michael Chertoff explained Brown was not being fired, but being shipped back to Washington to prepare FEMA for its next challenge.
If Mike Brown could not perform in this disaster, lost the confidence of the American people, why do we think it's going to change?
Critics say FEMA's got a bigger problem than just Mike Brown. His two top deputies also have no emergency management experience. They, like Brown, are there because of their political connections and not their expertise. John?
Hey, Bob, what's going on with that $2,000 debit card program that FEMA started in Texas?
Well, it's going to end. It's yet another problem. FEMA says it was a pilot program to give $2,000 to each of the hurricane families through debit cards. Well, they say it doesn't work very well. Now, if you're a hurricane victim not in Texas, you'll have to get it through a direct bank deposit. Of course, some of these people don't have banks anymore.
Right, yeah, so they'll still get the money. They just may not be able to find it.
More paperwork and more time.
Right, all right. Bob Orr in our Washington Bureau. Bob, thanks. In New Orleans, the focus is shifting to recovering the dead now, and today a city official said it's looking like there may be fewer dead than first feared. He did not give a new estimate, though. Officially so far, there were 118 confirmed deaths in Louisiana, more than 200 in Mississippi, 14 in Florida, and 2 in Georgia. Byron Pitts reports that as floodwaters recede, we're getting a better perspective on this disaster.
For more than a week now, the world has wondered what lay beneath these floodwaters. Today in Moreau, east of New Orleans, came a grim and early glimpse. Sailboats sat where they didn't belong, and cars were left stacked and standing like lawn furniture. But while the images were eerie from the air, rescue teams found encouraging signs on the ground.
There's some encouragement in what we found in the initial sweeps that some of the catastrophic death that some people predicted may not in fact have occurred.
Perhaps not 10,000 fatalities as once predicted, but a body count still in the thousands. Some water levees have been intentionally breached, allowing floodwater to escape. So as nightfall approaches, New Orleans remains a city of the dead and the defiant. Defiance, New Orleans style. Block after block, people here still refuse to evacuate.
I ain't budging. Really gonna make me move, they like them hog tie me.
Yet authorities insist the last survivors will leave eventually and by force if necessary. This is the south side of Lake Pontchartrain. Today on the north side, residents were allowed back in for the first time.
What are we supposed to do with this? I've got roofs, I've got boats, boats. I have boats back here.
Today, Londi Moore's lakefront home looks more like a junkyard. Her house sits on stilts. The neighbor's house now sits in her backyard.
There's something dead back here. We don't know if it's a body.
And she won't know for days, since it's only her husband, and a few handymen removing debris. Like her neighbors in parts of New Orleans and elsewhere, the only help she's received from FEMA is a voice on the phone.
But the bottom line she told me was that in 7 to 10 business days, we will receive in the mail a packet that we have to fill out, and then the process will start. Well, we don't get mail.
Londi Moore says the only thing she's seen plenty of thus far are cottonmouth snakes. She says unless she receives some kind of federal assistance, she could well go bankrupt. She is not alone. John?
Byron, how much longer are officials there going to give people before they do hog-tie them and take them out?
Well, John, there's talk as early as the end of this coming weekend. I think officials have tried as best they can, but the reality is because there's so many medical concerns, the diseased water, they realize they have to get people out at some point or they'll have more problems down the road. So I think it'll be 2 or 3 more days of Mr. Nice Guy, and then they'll likely start getting tough.
All right, Byron, thanks very much. Even as the water level goes down, estimates of the economic damage caused by Hurricane Katrina are rising. A revised estimate today from a private risk assessment firm puts the total cost at $125 billion. That's 25% higher than just a week ago. And then there is the potential health damage from all of that contaminated water. Mark Strassman's got that story for us tonight.
At his carpeting and tile business, Gilbert Schmidt thought he had seen everything a flood could bring.
Water came to about right here.
But nothing's prepared him for Katrina's unhealthy aftermath. In his store, his home, and flooded houses all over.
And the mold had like 5 different colors, so I didn't know which mold it was. And we had the same thing here in the store and all the other houses we run into.
After hell came high water, a nasty toxic broth of raw sewage, petroleum, chemicals, and everything else under the kitchen sink. Some standing water is actually on fire. And in this citywide cesspool, infectious diseases are already a high risk. In one area, Baltimore firefighters showered every vehicle going in or out with decontaminants.
Hep A and B, tetanus? Everything. Okay.
Cops and emergency workers lined up for free tetanus and hepatitis shots. Some of them already have mysterious rashes.
So we had decaying bodies, raw sewage, you name it, it's in there.
Once these floodwaters recede, the silt left behind becomes the next major worry. Contaminants that could reach the levels of hazardous waste. Imagine that cleanup on this scale. In and around New Orleans, state environmentalists are taking water samples, awed by this disaster's unprecedented scale.
Just the massive size of it.
Right.
As well as the potential concerns.
Right, long-term potential concerns is enormous.
In some parts of the city, drinking water may be years away. And wherever water lingers, so do health worries.
The longer it stays in the carpeting, all that toxic water and all of it, the longer it stays in there, the worse it's going to be.
The Big Easy could now become infamous for its environmental hotspots that could take years to cool down. Mark Strassman, CBS News, New Orleans.
Well, after all that bad news, we are pleased to bring you this update tonight on the storm babies, the premature infants that were evacuated from New Orleans to intensive care units in Baton Rouge. Last night we told you the mothers of all but one of the infants had since been found. Now that last baby's mother has been located. It turns out the mother and her other children were stuck in New Orleans, running out of food, drinking water, and hope. when a National Guard boat came by and rescued them. Well, coming up next on tonight's CBS Evening News, taking lessons from the Dutch. If any country knows about flood control, it's the Netherlands. We'll show you why and how it could help New Orleans in tonight's Inside Story. But first, CBS News honors fallen heroes. Joey Tremblay, G.I. Joey they called him. He was always interested in the military. He became a Marine firearms instructor. Disappointed he wasn't sent to Afghanistan after 9/11, he volunteered for duty in Iraq. Soft-hearted, he had great compassion for Iraqi children. Killed by a roadside bomb, his last call was to his fiancée. He told her he loved her and he'd be home soon.
So, Doc, let's see what you can do for this poor seasonal allergy sufferer.
You're really miserable.
I've tried these. They only last about 6 hours. And all of these make me drowsy.
I think this will help.
Allegra 180, long-lasting and non-drowsy. Not one of these allergy medicines can give you long-lasting seasonal allergy relief without the risk of drowsiness, but Allegra 180 can. Allegra lasts the whole day and night. For people 12 and over, side effects alone may include headache, cold, or backache.
I'll take Allegra any day.
Long-lasting Allegra. The relief goes on.
Now you see it. Now you don't. Benefiber. Unlike Metamucil, it dissolves completely in beverages and is completely tasteless. Now that's fiberlutionary. Benefiber makes taking fiber easier.
Here's a fresh solution in bladder protection. New Serenity pads from Tenna. With a unique soft top sheet with multi-inlets to absorb liquid faster than before. Serenity feels dry. You feel fresh.
I'm not going to let health concerns hold me back.
From doing a single lap, doing a single turn.
Some multivitamins talk a good game, but Centrum Silver is a specially age-adjusted multivitamin with high levels of B vitamins, which emerging science suggests may help reduce the risk of vascular diseases, including heart disease, and with calcium to help maintain healthy blood pressure.
I can't wait for my next gig.
My next plunge.
Centrum Silver, adjusted for your age and your life.
Moms know how to treat kids right with wholesome food they really like. Campbell's chicken noodle possibilities. Bite-sized chicken noodles too. Broth that's savory, tried and true. Campbell's chicken noodle possibilities. Why have hot dogs or mac and cheese when Campbell's soup is sure to please? Campbell's good possibilities.
It was really dark. The road was icy.
It was really slippery.
We started swerving. I thought we were going to roll over, but we didn't. It stopped us swerving and keep the car straight.
Who's going to help you stay in control?
When things are out of your control.
Someone should.
Well, after Katrina, no one is ignoring Ophelia, even though the hurricane moved farther out to sea today, away from the Atlantic coast of Florida. Well, that's because Ophelia is projected to turn around and head back to the East Coast next week, possibly striking anywhere from the Carolinas all the way down to Florida. Hurricanes are a fact of life for residents of the Southeast and the Gulf Coast, and scientists know that New Orleans will face that threat again sometime in the future. The question is how to hold back the sea. One proven way is the Dutch way. Mark Phillips has the inside story.
This may sound familiar. A storm surge overwhelms a low-lying coastline. Flood barriers give way. Thousands killed, tens of thousands made homeless. Except this isn't the U.S. Gulf Coast in 2005. It's Holland in 1953. These aren't called the Low Countries for nothing. What the Dutch learned then and how they responded may hold lessons for post-Katrina America.
When we have an increased water level of 4 meters above main sea level, then half of Holland is below water.
Half the country is below
Half the country.
The Dutch response was not simply to shore up the dike system that failed, but to build a new system of outer sea barriers, massive complex structures stretching for miles. It cost about $8 billion, a lot of money for a small country. But the Dutch knew it was a matter of pay me now or pay me later.
The choice we have to make here is to give safety to 1 million people, and it costs money, but it's cheaper than afterwards when we have a big disaster and 1 million people get flooded.
The greatest challenge was to protect Rotterdam, yet still allow shipping into its crucial port. The answer was these gigantic and ingenious moving arches that can be swung out into the river and then sunk there to block any incoming storm surge. The Dutch long ago learned that this is really a simple problem. You want to keep the land here and the water out there. You have to spend whatever it takes to build this sort of thing to keep them apart. With climate change, rising sea levels, and more severe storms in the future, the Dutch think they'll have to close this barrier every 3 or 4 years. In Holland, they think the choice in the U.S. is inevitable.
New Orleans, what I know, is also very low. So by rising of the sea level, you have to build something.
No choice.
No choice. Yeah. Or leave the area.
The same choice they faced here. Mark Phillips, CBS News at the Maesland Barrier, Holland.
You're watching the CBS Evening News, and coming up next, the cost of heating your home. Katrina's impact on what you'll be paying this winter is our Friday Consumer Alert.
I'd like to redeem my credit card miles. No.
Okay.
Oh, Chubsy, come on. The answer's always...
No!
That's right.
Ow. No!
I'm not hearing it.
No! No! No!
Go from no to no hassle with Capital One No Hassle Rewards. There are no blackout dates on any airline, anytime.
I should have worked at Capital One!
What's in your wallet?
No!
The good news is spreading. Aleve is the #1 pharmacist-recommended pain reliever for arthritis for the 6th year in a row. If you suffer from arthritis pain, ask your pharmacist about the good news. Ask your pharmacist about Aleve.
Buffalo are beautiful this time of year.
Oh, this just in. Huge crowds at the Ace Hardware sale. Bob, I think he went to the sale.
The Ace Helpful Hardware Day sale. Save 25% on Ace brand tools that fit inside this Ace toolbox for $4.99. Sale starts Friday.
Every day, I see all kinds of people with diabetes. And for everyone, eating right and controlling weight is essential and hard to do. That's why there's delicious Glucerna to have as a meal or satisfying snack. Glucerna's unique blends of slowly digested carbs are clinically shown to help control blood sugar. And with a little exercise, Glucerna may help you lose weight. For free meal plans, visit Glucerna.com. It's time for a taste of freedom.
It's incredible. It's Disney on Ice. Disney presents Pixar's The Incredibles in a Magic Kingdom adventure. Come see your favorite super family and all of your Disney friends in an incredible adventure on ice.
Playing September 15th through the 18th.
Without a caring adult, some kids feel like castaways. Just a little of your time can make a huge difference in a child's life. Be a mentor.
Contact Big Brothers Big Sisters at 615-329-9191. A message from Flores and News Channel 5.
Hope. It's more powerful than a hurricane. Help victims of Hurricane Katrina and thousands of other disasters across the country each year. Call or visit redcross.org today.
Your tax dollars at work. It's the biggest relief effort in history. Is anyone watching how those tens of billions of dollars are being spent? We are, and all next week, Cheryl Atkinson tours the disaster zone to see if the aid is getting where it's needed most. Crisis Check on the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer. Experience you can trust.
The first of the Louisiana National Guard soldiers being brought back from Iraq arrived home today, but most of them have no homes to go to. The 100 guardsmen were greeted by Louisiana's governor and a few dozen family members when their flight landed 200 miles northwest of their flooded hometown of New Orleans. Well, it looks like gasoline prices have leveled off after soaring 46 cents in the week after Katrina hit the Gulf Coast to a nationwide average of $3.06 a gallon. The price started falling this week ever so slowly and is now $3.02. That's still $1.18 more than we were paying a year ago. Also a lot more than it was last year is the cost of heating your home, and Katrina gets at least some of the blame for that. Anthony Mason has our Friday Consumer Alert.
The dog may not be the only one barking at the heating oil man this winter after you get your bill.
Heating oil prices are expected to jump more than 30% in the Northeast. Natural gas prices to soar more than 70% in the Midwest.
The signs were they were going to go up anyway, but with Katrina, they're going to go up even more.
That's correct.
Dave Schildwachter runs a heating oil company in the Bronx, New York. Last winter, he offered his customers a price cap of $1.79. Today, oil is $2.69. So could it go higher?
If you asked me this question a year ago, I'd say, gee, $1.79 is crazy. Wasn't so crazy.
How long will we be choking on these higher heating bills? It's hard to say. But the damage from Katrina down in the Gulf will be putting pressure on prices for months to come.
The green line is the temperature within the building.
For 20 years, Steve Mackey has helped run the Metrodome in Minneapolis. He's expecting at least a 40% jump in his energy costs.
This would certainly be the largest increase I've seen in my history of working at the stadium.
To save money, they may manually remove snow from the Metrodome roof this winter.
How many students do you have here?
At 2,500 students.
Howard Smith runs the schools in Tarrytown, New York, with 5 buildings to heat.
You fill that thing up every week?
In the peak of the season, yeah.
He can't afford a 30% fuel hike.
Does that worry you?
It does, because we can't build that kind of a safety net into our budget.
So what's a homeowner to do?
Dave Schildwachter says we all need to watch the thermostat and service our boilers.
But a lot of us have been doing this stuff for the past few winters to try to save money, and there's nowhere to go anymore.
Amen.
If you thought your bill was bad last year, this winter, it's really going to bite. Anthony Mason, CBS News, Tarrytown, New York.
And still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News, repaying a debt from 9/11. New York City's urban search and rescue team is on the Gulf Coast to help out and to say thank you.
Tonight, will you be able to catch a great night's sleep? Or will your restless mind keep chasing sleep away?
I've got to remember that appointment tomorrow. Did I send the car payment?
Introducing Lunesta, a sleep aid that can give you and your restless mind the sleep you need. Lunesta helps most people sleep all through the night and works quickly, so take it right before bed. Lunesta is non-narcotic and approved for long-term use. Of course, do not use sleep medicines for extended periods without first talking to your doctor. Be sure you have at least 8 hours to devote to sleep before becoming active. Until you know how you'll react to Lunesta, you should not drive or operate machinery. Avoid taking Lunesta with alcohol. All sleep medicines carry some risk of dependency. Side effects may include unpleasant taste, headache, drowsiness, and dizziness. Ready to catch a great night's sleep? Just climb into bed and leave the rest to Lunesta.
It's frustrating. Just when you're ready to relax, that's when it happens. The urge to move, along with uncomfortable sensations in your legs. They're hard to describe, but they can even keep you from getting to sleep. You feel the urgent need to get up and move, just to get some relief. There's a name for it. Restless leg syndrome. And if you have it, you're among the nearly 1 in 10 U.S. adults who do. Want to know more? Visit restlesslegs.com or talk to your doctor.
You've waited, you've dreamed, and now it's finally back. Endless Shrimp at Red Lobster. The only time of year to enjoy all the shrimp you can eat. Don't miss Endless Shrimp right now, only at Red Lobster.
I am dedicated. And I'm a diabetic. And that's how I feel when I test with my meter, the Accu-Check Aviva.
Designed to fill correctly the first time, to make every strip count. The new Accu-Check Aviva system.
It was really dark. The road was icy.
It was really slippery.
We started swerving.
I thought we were going to roll over, but we didn't. It stopped us swerving and keep the car straight.
Who's going to help you stay in control?
When things are out of your control.
Someone should.
Hello, my darling. Your last blossom beckons. I am so congested. If only my medicine could treat and help prevent these seasonal nasal allergy symptoms.
Only Nasonex is clinically proven to both treat and help prevent most seasonal nasal allergy symptoms, including congestion. Only Nasonex. Side effects were generally mild and included headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing.
I have returned my flower, a changed bee.
For seasonal nasal allergy symptoms, Nasonex is the one to treat and help prevent congestion. Talk to your doctor.
We'll wrap up Middle Tennessee's contribution to help evacuees and those still in the area hardest hit by Katrina tonight on News Channel 5 at 6. Well, Sunday is September the 11th, the 4th anniversary of the attacks on America. And at the White House today, President Bush awarded specially created Medals of Valor to the families of the 442 firefighters, police officers, and other rescue workers who died in those attacks. The president shared hugs and tears with some people at the ceremony. After 9/11, New Orleans was among the first American cities to send help to New York City. Now, repairing what they see as a debt of honor, hundreds of New York City police and firefighters are at work on the Gulf Coast. Jim Acosta has their story.
When storm survivor Russ Anderson met some of New York's finest, he had the perfect tribute in mind. Out in the Mississippi rubble, a sound that became familiar 4 years ago.
We appreciate them. I hope the whole nation does.
On September 11, 2001, America came to help New York City. When Hurricane Katrina hit the Gulf Coast, it was time to give back.
We were getting inundated with phone calls from all firemen and policemen that wanted to come with us.
Inundated.
Inundated. Everybody wanted to come.
Good luck, guys. Joe Downey leads New York City's urban search and rescue team. Come on, sir. This is their first deployment outside New York since that September morning. The team lost almost everything that day: rescuers, equipment, and its leader, Joe Downey's father.
You guys recognize how choked up people still get when they see you?
Sure. The first person we met, she just broke down and cried on our shoulder.
Everywhere they go, they are struck by images they've seen before. Just as rescuers across the country answered the call at Ground Zero, they've come to the Gulf Coast. Many of them have not seen each other since around this time 4 years ago. So dinner becomes a reunion with brothers and sisters from Florida to California.
I think we got the Italian guys cooking tonight.
A time to reflect on the task at hand.
We look at this as Mississippi's World Trade Center.
Absolutely. It's 100 times worse as far as the geographical area. 16 acres of land was destroyed in New York City. This is over 150 miles. It's our turn to pay back.
For these New Yorkers, the mission has changed, but their sacrifice is always remembered.
Yeah, hang in there, bud. It'll be all right.
Jim Acosta, CBS News, Gulfport, Mississippi.
And from talking to the overstretched police and fire departments in New Orleans, the help from across this country is greatly appreciated. And that's the CBS Evening News for this Friday. Later on this evening, CBS will air a benefit for the victims of Hurricane Katrina, Shelter from the Storm, a concert for the Gulf Coast. That's tonight at 8, 7 Central. Bob Schieffer will be back again on Monday. I'm John Roberts in New York. Thanks for making CBS your choice for news. Have a good night and a good weekend.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart. Good jobs. Good people. Great opportunities. Come grow with us at Walmart.
Are billions in relief aid getting to those who need it most? All next week, Cheryl Atkinson is on The Crisis Check on the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer. Experience you can trust.
This is CBS.
Straight ahead on News Channel 5 at 6, he has taken a lot of heat for the federal government's response to Hurricane Katrina. Tonight, FEMA Director Michael Brown has been reassigned.
He lived in New Orleans, worked in New Orleans. Tonight, Metro Police Chief Ronald Surpass talks about how his life has been affected by Katrina.
And part of the price you pay at the pump is a state tax.
Is there any chance it will be repealed for some temporary relief? The news is now.
From your news and information leader, winner of the Emmy for News Excellence. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. There are slow signs of progress tonight along the Gulf Coast.
But it won't be up to FEMA Director Mike Brown anymore to coordinate the federal response to the effort. He's been the target of a lot of criticism about the government's response to the disaster. Now Brown is being sent back to Washington and taken off heading up the hurricane recovery. The crews on the ground are still trying to get the last holdouts to leave. They may have to end up using force to get them out of the ruined city. There are small signs that things are improving tonight, though. The water that covers the city is being pumped out. It equals about 4 to